Hey ladies and gentlemen, Carl Spreedy is back here with Marsa.
Hello, what's good?
And we're just back for the second video, part 2. Marsa has been my work experience placement for the past 6 months, and we've really learnt a lot over that time and had a lot of fun shoots together, which has been pretty cool. And so, yeah, we just want to do part 2. Part 1 was just basically talking about a lot of what we learnt, some of the questions surrounding work placement, why you went for it.
A wider vision.
Yeah, yeah.
We're trying to hone it in now. Have that
Specific.
specific
Yes.
objective and why try to choose this pathway, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe some of the key takeaways. So we had like a lot of key takeaways in the previous one, and it was more of an overview of why someone would get into work experience, maybe why someone, if there's a kid out there watching for, getting into media or getting into marketing or photo, visual, why they would get into that sort of storytelling pathway for work placement and how it can have you ahead in the career that you choose. So we just wanted to go through, and some of the things you were talking about in the previous videos was about how it can be challenging to know what career you want to take at such a young age. And I wanted to ask, has it helped doing work experience? For maybe some of the kids out there, thinking about it, do I go down the study, the heavy tests and marks and long periods of that, or do I try and get my hands stuck into some tools and learn some things? So what did you find?
Work experience, actually trying the thing. So I guess from that I have more
knowledge now.
And I actually want to go into this more than before.
Okay,
with school, it's not really you don't really go into the real world. There's no aspect of danger. Now there's well, I can't fail. That's what I'm trying to
I gave him danger. I scared him. I said, I want to see some fear in you, buddy.
Exactly.
I shook you awake. I want some fear.
Yeah, with your gaze.
With the gaze.
The gaze, yeah.
So I guess to make this maybe a bit more interesting, there were some fearful moments. There were some challenging moments. We had a shoot this morning. That was pretty fun.
That was good. That was a good shoot. To say it was all right.
Yeah, all right. It was guerrilla warfare. So we had to get a model in to kind of paint the face, make it look really, interesting.
Gritty.
Gritty.
Yeah.
And but I wanted to ask, what were your 3 top shoots? Out of since we've been working together, what are the shoots that stand out the most to you? And don't hold anything back to the people of the world. You can say a shoot that maybe was challenging, a shoot that demanded more of you, or maybe something went wrong during the shoot and we had to recover.
Yeah.
But what were the specific?
My favorite shoots are the one that have action in it and where I can learn the most.
Yeah.
So the shoot this morning, it was great, but I didn't really learn that much. I learned lighting.
Yep.
But that's kind of
sculpting. Yeah.
But
lighting's not always common knowledge, because lighting is common knowledge, but light modification, and that's how the pros of the pros know how to modify light and make it look like there's no flash there, and just.
That's true.
But it was a bit of a quick shoot this morning.
It was a quick shoot.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say that my number one would be the one where we went on the plane. That
yeah, that was pretty. That's one of my number ones for sure.
It's pretty easy to know why, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was great. I learned a lot.
Yes.
That was our first shoot.
Yep.
Making our first shoot.
Yes.
I didn't know much before.
Yeah.
And especially about professional photography, because I was more into the video filmmaking aspect.
Yeah.
Not into the photography. I did maybe 2 years of photography at school.
Yeah.
That's that's not really photography. That's just some teachers looking at your work.
Oh, okay.
And they say it's not artistic enough. Or whatever,
You're not artistic enough.
Yeah.
I was thinking a joke there, but I won't go. Yeah, go on.
No joke. Well.
Yeah, so that was a fun one. And then the others, what were the kind of other highlights?
Second one.
We've got 2 more set up for today. We've had 1 today. We've got 2 more today.
Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Might be better. Who knows?
Yeah.
But second one has to be the shoot we did for the authors. So we did a shoot.
Oh, cool.
In
Yeah.
Fremantle,
Yeah.
For big. They were they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
pretty big. They were quite
Internationally awarded authors. Yeah.
And they had a whole meeting, and they then we did the shoot for that.
Yeah.
Reason why I thought that
Storytellers Festival. Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Reason why I thought that was one of the good shoots is because it was a bad shoot for me, anyways. That's why it was so good, because I learned a lot. After that, I started to think about my gear. I started to think about preparation, how to shoot, like
Yeah.
a lot more things. 'Cause
It was a full day shoot, and it was it required everything to be able to capture everything, you know.
Definitely.
And so me and Mas were in different areas for the shoot, which worked. I mean, it wasn't a bad shoot in terms of the outcome. The photos were great. The client loved them. They're wanting to get us back for 2 shoots coming up in October.
Yep.
So it'll be similar sort of festivals. So everything went well from that point of view. But in terms of managing the stress load during the shoot and making sure you've got, like, you know, yourself covered, that's a big learning, you know.
Definitely.
And it takes a while. Like, it's challenging. Anybody in any career, as you learn, and you, like, especially if you've got equipment, you got to get more equipment, you got to get more things, you got to understand how to charge this when you're doing that, you know. And also communication skills. How do we make sure we've got these things going, you know, looked after? We've got the memory cards downloading, the batteries are charging, this is going over there whilst we're shooting, whilst we're doing. So you have to be a mad multitasker.
Yeah.
Or you have to be really, really adaptable.
And I felt like for that shoot, like, it felt like I was prepared, but when I went in there, that's when my unpreparedness came in.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned, oh, I have to be more prepared than I think what
Yeah.
preparedness is.
You'll always have to do more than you. I love this saying. It's something like you'll have to do more work than you think that the project will take,
Yeah.
and you always have to do more than your mind can conceive. And it's kind of good that maybe your mind can't conceive how much work is in it, because maybe you wouldn't get started because you'd be like, oh, this is too much.
Exactly, yeah.
But you'll have to do more, and then the reward will be more than you ever thought, because you'll get rewards in different ways. You'll get learnings, you know.
Yeah.
It will reward you in so many different ways that you never thought were ways that needed satisfying in your soul, you know. So that's really good to hear that the second one was like a challenging one.
Yeah.
How about number 3? Hit us up with number 3, Masa.
Number three is, I'm not quite sure. It's like, it's really hard to shoot, like, to pick between shoots, because most of them were pretty good.
Yeah.
But
There were quite a few different ones as well, hey? Like there were...
like, which one did we go to? So we went to the flying one, we went to,
I love how that's named. We've got the flying one, we've got the book one,
we got the book one, we got the,
we've had some headshots.
the headshots, yeah.
Yeah,
Headshots it was alright.
Yeah.
They were good.
yeah,
I think with the headshots, it was like, I was kind of in a rush because I had to do other stuff afterwards. So, but they were still good. I
Yeah.
would say. I think that part, I learned more about, like, composition
yes,
and
yeah,
like modeling.
yeah,
I think before, like, you know, for any students out there, of course, you guys know that in school it's totally different from the real world. You have to, like, model your subjects. Like, with most of the projects we do, we don't model our subjects. We just let them do whatever they want, and then we just take
Yeah.
the present.
That's actually a really good point. You learn that you need to have a lot more control,
Yeah.
because there's so many elements, there's so many creative elements, there's composition, there's lighting,
Because they
natural.
actually, since you're the professional here, they leave everything to you, not
Yeah,
to them, which is quite shocking to me, because before,
it's shocking.
like, I was instructed to do something.
Yeah,
Like,
right, yeah.
Now people want me to instruct them to do
Yeah.
something. It's a
Yeah,
bit
they expect you
challenging.
to be a leader, and yeah.
It's a bit harder.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve.
Yeah. So you know, overall, you've had a few, like, specific shoots that really stood out,
Yes.
and it's been a good learning curve, and the challenges have taught you as much as the successes.
Definitely has, yes.
Yeah. So would you say to a kid, would you say to do work placement, would you say to someone, if you want to get a clearer vision of your career and what you're going to be doing, would you say that it's a good idea to...
Well, I think it's a good idea, yeah, because, like, this is, like, the real, like, what you're gonna do later on, right? Like, school is
The real world.
It's a bit different.
Yeah,
Exactly, it's the real world.
yeah,
Like, when you do it and you think it's good, then that's when you're like, oh, maybe this is
yeah.
my pathway that I want to do.
You
Like,
get
how
that
can-
feedback.
Exactly. How can you know what you're doing when
Yeah,
you haven't tried it? Right?
Yeah, and that's a big key of it, is you don't want to be 40, 50 years old, and maybe if you are at that age, like as you get older and older, you want to be able to know that you're doing things and your heart and soul's in it and you're enjoying it and you're going, wow, I'm showing up for life every day, inspired, excited, creative, ready to sweat for what I love. That's exciting. You're actually engaged with life rather than being swept up in the ocean of, I don't know, whatever way goes, So that's really, really important thing. And I hope a lot of people at home can take that away,
I think one of my key points is that work shouldn't be bad. Like, you shouldn't have sure, you should just have time for work, but then you should also have that saying where work should be fun and work should be your life. If work's gonna be your life, you gotta be good.
Yes. Yeah. My grandfather, he remember the story. He was sitting looking out his balcony, and he designed his house. So he's an architect, and he's been an architect his whole life. And he looked at me, he said, "Kyle, I haven't worked a day in my life." I said, "What?" He's 90. He's like, "What do you mean? You surely there'd be one day." And I haven't worked a day in my life. I love drawing. I wanted to be a draftsman. I loved drawing from a very young age. I haven't worked a day in my life. And he had a boyish, big, joyful grin on his face. 90, body's sore and tired, and all of that. And he can see in my eyes the kind of concern of, what do I do, where do I go, a young kid. And he's just kind of given me this gift of, you can be at the end of the line and go, well, I've enjoyed every step of the way,
Exactly.
That can be an option.
You only have one life, so why waste it, man?
You heard it here first from Marsa. Thank you for joining us for part 2.
Part 2.
Appreciate it. Yes, and it was just a little bit more specific with shoots. What are the things that he actually took away from the shoot, rather than the overview of just going and having work placement. So I hope you enjoyed that and appreciate it. Please follow the links down below if you want to find out more about Marsa. Check out some of his photography. Choco Takes Photos at the moment, but it will be changing. The name should be changing. Yeah. And keep following us and leave some comments down below if you learned anything from this video. Thanks, guys. Bye.